Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Nizwatul Karimah. You can call me Nuril. My number is 2101060042. Okay guys, now I will explain about three topics in second language acquisition. Okay guys, happy watching. The first topic I will explain about the causative variable in second language acquisition. The causative variable in second language acquisition refer to factors that affect how individuals learn a second language. The acquiring a second language, the conditions are necessary. The first is compressible input contained a bit beyond the accuracy current and low or weak activity filter allow input in. However, the hypothesis that compressible input plus low filter are the true causative variable predict quite well when explored variable related to second language acquisition and when they do not. Okay, when language teaching helps emphasize the important role of formal education, major contribution to language proficiency. Most importantly, the study also note that students who expressly participate in extracurricular language program so additional improvement, demonstrating the value of a holistic language education approach is the local context. Okay, language teaching. Does it help? The classroom main function is provide comprehensible input in an environment conducive to allow filter, especially for beginner and foreign language students who cannot easily access informal environment. Language teaching helps when it is the main source of low filter comprehensible input, and least helpful when sources of input are variable. Research literature support this generalization confirms that language teaching helps second language acquisition when it supply compressible input, which is true cause of second language acquisition. Okay, when language teaching doesn't help, language teaching is not always beneficial for second language acquisition, as it can provide comprehensible input for those who cannot access in as who cannot access it elsewhere. They are also found that students who had the opportunity to associate with English speaker and non-native speaker using English and language friends met better program in English. In real life, interaction outside the classroom can play important role in language acquisition, offering a sort of comprehensible input that cannot be replaced by formal instruction alone. Okay, the second material I will explain about providing input for acquisition. The first is the providing of second language classroom. The classroom is beneficial when it is the primary source of comprehension input as it helps accurate understand and take advantage of research to input outside the classroom. The informal environment, on the other hand, may not provide as much comprehensible input for older second language students due to its complexity, vocabulary, and complexity. In the second language classroom, the classroom can provide for until 5-10 minutes to comprehensible input per day, encouraging language acquisition. However, true beginner may require days or weeks to pick up the comprehensible input, making the classroom an effect, efficient place to achieve intermediate level replay as long as the focus in providing input for acquisition. Okay, the next is limitation of the classroom. The second language classroom provide comprehensible input for intermediate level students, allowing them to progress quickly. However, the classroom range of discourse may be limited and it may take days or weeks for students to pick out comprehensible input. The goal is to help students understand the outside world. Okay, next is characteristic or optimal input for acquisition. The first is language acquisition relies on comprehension, and teacher can aid this by using linguistic or non-linguistic strategy. Linguistic strategy includes simplifying syntax, using high-frequency vocabulary, reducing slang, and using flower articulation. Non-linguistic strategy involves using reality picture and objects and utilizing student familiar knowledge. Teacher should also ensure they input in understood verbally and non-verbally with a structure and relevant message. Okay, the second is creating effective language acquisition input focus on message rather than form. But its challenges due to the sudden difference in goals, interest, and background. Example, including pattern exercise, dialogue exercise, and grammar exercise. Relevant reading assessment in foreign language course are harder to find, especially in American course. Okay, next I will explain the third material. The topic is the role of grammar or putting grammar in its place. Okay, the first is learning doesn't become acquisition. Learning learning doesn't become acquisition is learning doesn't necessarily become acquisition. This idea the concise learning of a rule effectively learned to acquisition is not always the case. There are cases of language acquisition without prior conscious learning. Many second language performers can use complex structure without consciously knowing the rules, indicating the acquisition can occur without prior learning. Even well-learned and well-practiced rules may not turn into acquisition. They are instead where individual, despite knowing and practicing a rule for many years, still make careless error on certain item, indicating that learning does not always become acquisition. Acquisition does not necessarily require previous learning. While learning may not precede acquisition, it is not a direct cause of acquisition. We acquire along a natural order when we receive a compatible input and occasionally we learn certainly rules before we acquire them, giving the illusion that learning caused the acquisition. Students get acquiring a rule without consciously learning it, and those who learn what they have already acquired may find it satisfying, but it is not language teaching. This suggests the acquiring can occur independent of conscious learning. Okay, the next is the place of grammar. The place of grammar is to highlight the two possible profiles of grammar in second language teaching. The first is grammar can be used as a monitor. The term monitor is the context of language learning referred to conscious use of learned grammar rules. The monitor and correct one, speech or writing. So it refers to the conscious use of learned grammar rules to monitor and correct language performance, particularly in situations where there is time for reflective and editing. Okay, the second is grammar can be used as subject matter or for language appreciation. Okay, grammar can be used as subject matter or for language appreciation refer to the study of grammar as means to understand the structure of pattern of a language and to develop an appropriate for its nuance and complexities. This involves regarding the rules and convention that govern language use and appreciating how this element contribute to effective communication. I think that's all about my explanation. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.